Good morning. It's King Don here with another ramble. Um, and the question for today that we're going to discuss, is many school districts have passed resolutions to ban cell phones in classrooms. What is your opinion on this? So, I am one that believes in the use of technology. And I think we should be moving towards that, not running away from that. Some of the arguments, or one of the arguments I should say, is, well, when I was in school, we didn't have cell phones. And when I look at the people who say that, I generally think when you were in school, cell phones weren't invented yet. Cell phones in technology is a relatively new concept. And in my opinion, is a far more superior communication tool than a desktop laptop in the corner of a classroom. I believe that school boards, instead of running away from technology, should be looking at how can we use that technology. Things that need to be taught is proper cell phone etiquette and proper usage. And how can we have this become our tool of the day? Most textbooks could be installed as an app, in app format, and the app installed on the cell phone. You wouldn't need to buy many textbooks. You wouldn't be replacing lost textbooks or stolen textbooks or damaged textbooks. And the student would have access to that textbook for as long as that app existed. Okay? We tend to want to run away from things that we don't know. And I think the education system in today's society needs to stop looking at, paper resources and, textbooks and workbooks and school books. I mean, if you want to go back to the old ways, let's go back to slates. I mean, we didn't use them when I was in school, but that was something that was done quite frequently. It was a blackboard type thing. You wrote chalk, you did your work, your teacher looked at it, wiped it off, you went on to the next thing. So I don't think we should be limiting cell phones just on the ability to deliver curriculum. I mean, there's other reasons why we could argue for the keeping of cell phones for safety. Somebody comes onto the schoolyard that's not supposed to be there, and that's a whole other topic that maybe we'll get into down the line, further down the list. But somebody comes into the schoolyard or approaches a kid in the hallway of a school that's not supposed to be there. A kid can snap a picture and take that to the staff and say, this person is bothering the students. Right? Somebody's hurt, they can call the school office and get help. Right? And I know some people say, well, schoolyards are monitored by staff and volunteers. Yeah, I'm not sure if things changed much since I was a kid in that regards. Not every square inch of the schoolyard is monitored, and a lot of times monitors get together and they talk. They don't see everything. So students with cell phones on the playground, great idea. You can record something. If something's happening in the classroom, other students can pull out their phones and record it. And I think sometimes that's why we don't want schools in the classroom. It isn't because somebody's misusing it or receiving text or whatever, and I'll talk about that in a minute. It's teachers don't want to be held accountable for their actions in the classroom. And now you've got 25, 26, 30 kids who can make a teacher accountable. Is the teacher going on berating students, being bullies themselves, and they don't want people with cameras being able to record that? I think that's more in line of what's happening when schools are restricting the use of cell phones. In the concept of cheating has been going on forever. They've never got stamped it out. You can take cell phones away, cheating will still happen. And I think we use things like, well, the kids will the kids will misuse it for nefarious activities, such as taking pictures of questions and their answers and sending it to other students in the class or other classes that might use the same teacher. We've been sharing notes before cell phones. Okay, sharing answers was something that happened when I was in school, before cell phones even became an existent thing in the old brick format, never mind the ability that we have today. And to be quite honest with you, when I was in school, teachers would write stuff on the board, and if we knew the teacher, we knew what to listen to. Right? There were things that were presented in a manner that if we knew the teacher, and if we heard the teacher say something like, and this is something you should pay attention to, we knew that whatever that teacher said next is going to be on the exam. Right? And it didn't take us very long to figure that, and you should pay attention to this, and this is important, or something to pay attention to. If you know your teacher, you can pull out pretty quickly stuff that you might need on your test. Right? I knew a teacher that said, I can talk all day. What I write on the board is going to be on your exams. And if you write those things down on your cue cards or as a note, write those notes, you'll get your thing. So a good teacher will give the answers to what's on an exam anyway. So if students are sharing answers, you're gonna, they shouldn't have to, for one. It only hurts the student if they pass and they don't know what they're talking about. We're generally talking about elementary and secondary school kids anyway, but in college you can get kicked out of the course and you lose all your money and things, so it's not really worth it. People still cheat, and you take away the technology, they're still going to figure it out. If they're going to cheat, they're going to cheat. Simple as that. Taking away the technology is not going to make them a better student. Okay? Some people will argue, well, it takes away the distraction. If your students are looking for a way are bored and are looking for a distraction, I don't know if technology is banning or restricting technology is a solution. Upping your game and how you present your plans, your lessons, that's the challenge. Okay? If students aren't willing to listen to you for 20 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever your instruction time is, you're a very boring person, and quite frankly, you probably not one that one wants to listen to. So you need to figure out a better way to present your material if you think that having a cell phone is going to distract. Life is a distraction. Get used to it. I think the teachers are distracted because the students are using something that they didn't have access to. Maybe the teachers are jealous. They don't want... So what I'm gleaning from these restrictions is they don't want to be held accountable, or they have the potential to be held accountable. They're boring, and they're jealous, because quite frankly we didn't have those tools back in the day. So that's what I think. I think we should lose the restrictions. If it's important that we block out classrooms, you can jam a cell phone so that it doesn't receive its signal or do much. In a school, I think in exam times you can jam the cell reception so it can't send or receive messages during that test time. There's an option. But for the most part, I think that schools should look at how can we use that technology that we're trying to restrict. How can we better use that for educational delivery, rather than how can we restrict it. So, I used to make the argument. I ran for government to be an MLA once, and people would talk about that, and I'm like, why are we continuously buying textbooks when we can download them when we can buy it, turn it into a PDF, download it into a laptop, give that laptop to the students, and one laptop cheap laptop that would be good for students for 2-3 years that they're going to have it, would be cheaper. Doing this would be cheaper than buying one textbook in many cases. Right? I bought textbooks that were $500-600. I had to have them for that course. So I know textbooks aren't cheap. Right? And I know that the school that I bought them from probably added some money to it too. And so the reason why we want textbooks in our schools is so the school board can pocket some money for buying the textbooks. I think we can do better. We can get better educational delivery for less cost by using technology instead of running away from it. Put the lessons into an app, and you won't even have to print out paper or collect papers to grade. They do the work, they unload it into the app, it goes to your inbox. Quick and easy collection. You can grade it, mark it, send it back to students. All of those kind of wonderful things in app. So you're cutting costs on needing to print stuff off, buying textbooks, buying certain supplies that could very easily be cut out, saving the school boards hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, just in practical cost-cutting measures by using technology. But instead we create systems that say, no, you can't use your technology, but we'll run off 100 pieces of paper for one class, one day. Come on, let's be realistic here. Stop wasting money and on doing things the old-fashioned way, and start looking for ways to save costs. And to me, that's what the ultimate message should be, is we're going to embrace the use of cell phones. If you don't have one, we'll get you one that you can use while you're in the school. A tablet or a cell phone that's not on, that's not hooked up to a service, but you can use it and have it hooked up to the Wi-Fi and still have access to the programs and supports that you need to have a better education. So instead of running from technology, we should be learning to embrace it and teach the etiquette. It's not okay to receive text messages in class. It's not okay to make phone calls in class. Right? Mom and dad can wait to call you at your recess times or your break times. Those are the appropriate times to responding to text messages. And if parents or other students are disrespecting, well, what would you do if this parent called during the daytime in class? Would you run and get the kid? No. So there are ways that we can address inappropriate use of cell phones without actually restricting its usage or banning its usage, except for during a testing time. We can restrict it during a testing time so people aren't sending or receiving messages over a cellular network. May not stop it over the Wi-Fi network, which there should be some level of communication regardless, just in case. We all see the news. I don't have to get into those debates. Right? There should be some form of communications, worst case scenario, and they do happen. But we should be embracing technology, not running from it. So whether it's cell phones, tablets, laptops, right? All of those things that have valuable use, it's how we conduct business in the real world. So we need to be bringing up the young people in how technology can better their lives, how they can how to use technology, and the etiquette behind technology, the use of technology. There's some adults in this world that really could handle the use of a etiquette class and how to use technology outside in the real world. Thank you very much for listening to my ramble. If you like the content, hit the like button, share the video. If you want to be notified of future uploads, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to support me in making these videos, there's research time and time to sit down and do these them. So donations are helpful. There will be a link in the description of the channel description. Okay, thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.